Must say, another pretty freaking interesting episode of Mob Psycho 100. This being episode 3. It was a very strange episode because it really did focus on this religion and how, really, when you think about it, Mob is this outsider. He can't conform to what this religion is. This religion of kind of forcibly making people be happy, laughing. Kind of forcibly saying, look, unless you laugh, you can't be happy. And then the older dude puts it perfectly. He says, if only happiness could be found through just laughing. It's true, because when you think about it, Dimple Summer's idea of happiness by just laughing is a completely skewed way of thinking of happiness. People aren't really, when you think about it, when I was thinking about it as well, I didn't really think these people were feeling at all happy. They were being forcibly made to feel happy. I mean, even when we saw Ichi's character being the reporter, the kind of reporter girl, her character, she did not want to smile. She did not want to laugh because, as she said, if she laughed at this point, it would be completely insincere. It would not work in her character. She needs to kind of feel those emotions herself. If she's forcibly made to feel those emotions, it doesn't work. And that's the whole idea. This mask that Dimple Summer's put on these people just made them smile, made them laugh. It's not making them think themselves that they're happy. It's forcibly making them happy. And the whole idea of really, yeah, Mob being the outsider, not just conforming to this religion, not conforming to what they're thinking, kind of just saying, look, okay, so this is not me becoming popular, I want nothing to do with it, but not being able to leave. As soon as you kind of say it against what Dimple Summer wants, he says you can't leave. You will be forcibly made to actually feel these emotions. I thought to myself, okay, because in this whole entire episode, Mob is made to kind of conform to his religion. He's made to conform to this Dimple Summer, this religious figure. When you think about it as well, it's a complete kind of fraud. He wasn't really. He was coming as basis for him to kind of grow later on. This whole religion, lol, being a religion that actually he founded within a month, that actually had all these followers. So when you think about it, they're all brainwashed in a larger context. All he was trying to do is have this as a basis so he can actually grow big as a religious figure and actually get to one point where he's actually this all-powerful being. But then, as soon as Mob kind of conflicts against this, he's kind of like, well, okay, so I can't do anything for you. I can't make you forcibly smile. I can't make you forcibly laugh. I have to use kind of underhand tactics. I've got to use kind of like very shady tactics, like using milk that doesn't actually kind of have... It's not very good milk. It has something in it which does not conform to normal milk. It makes Mob kind of just forcibly just spew it out. He doesn't actually kind of do it normally. It forcibly makes him do it. So he has to kind of use underhand tactics. He doesn't use quite legit tactics to get him to smile or laugh, but he still doesn't smile. But everyone else around him says, oh my god, you've done it. You made him smile. You made him do this. But it's not. He isn't feeling these emotions. He himself has not found his emotions within himself. He is forcibly made to think these or feel these emotions. He himself has not felt them. And that's what happens when he has, at one point, he actually does kind of have all these emotions conflict inside him to a point where he just explodes. Like, literally, he turns into that explosion thing that I was kind of hinting at in episode 1, which I kind of had, like, in essence, this percentage he was getting towards when he was going to explode. And he actually did. He actually exploded. Every single one of his, like, kind of emotion inside his body just exploded all at once and just kind of come out. It made him just kind of have this anger feeling, and then at that point he literally turned into like Two-Touch Man and actually kind of took down the evil spirit. Because what happened was, in his past life, everyone was like, why you look so bored? Why are you even here? You're not laughing. You're the only one that's not laughing here. Why are you like this? And then his love said, get a clue. And then what happens is, Dimple Summer says exactly the same thing. He says, get a clue. And it kind of then he kind of just goes, no, what are you saying that for? And it kind of skewers the memory that he had of her. And that's kind of interesting. That's just kind of twisting the actual memory he had originally, the memory that he had of his love saying get a clue, which he didn't really understand at that point. It was kind of dense, he didn't really understand, but now it's kind of skewering that whole idea. It's now saying, look, get a clue is now this kind of forceful figure that has made him trigger into this being who is all-powerful, his triggered being. It's actually kind of interesting, I must say. I mean, overall, I actually really liked this episode because it really just kind of showed you what it's like to be forcibly made to smile. Not wanting to actually kind of feel sincere when you smile. Feeling insincere when you smile. Like, you're not feeling like you're going towards emotion. You're not feeling this emotion yourself. You're just saying, look, okay, you're not letting me leave. Okay, so what are you going to do? I'm going to make you forcibly smile. You're not going to leave here until you laugh. I will make you do this. But as soon as one person kind of says no, the whole idea is that Dimple Summer said, okay, look, I didn't want to bring bloodshed into this religion. I want a completely, like, legit religion that has no bloodshed. I don't want to actually kind of bring in something that actually might cause hurt, kind of dampen the whole entire idea on this religion. But since you're not conforming to it, I actually kind of had to take down the outsiders. So in essence, it kind of established the whole idea that Mob is this outsider, not conforming to the whole idea of what he wants to be. He wants to be popular. That's the whole entire idea of the episode. He wants to be popular, kind of being more appealing as a man. But he himself has to kind of explore that on his own. Himself has to kind of go through that on his own. He can't just be forcibly made to actually feel his emotion. He can't just kind of go through life. He has to kind of explore it himself. That's the main thing I get from it, is that he has to explore this emotion. He can't just be forcibly made to do it. In essence, the same thing that happened with Tome's character in the beginning of the episode, which made me kind of hate her character slightly. In essence, she says, look, you will never be popular. In essence, he says, I want to become popular. And she says, no, you will never become popular just lifting weights. If you, look, in essence, if you actually join my club, telepathy, you would actually become popular. In essence, you actually know what women are thinking. So join my club. It's like, basically you're saying to him, if you don't join my club, you won't be popular on your own. Joining my club, becoming telepathic, other than being a psychic, will actually make you more popular. It's kind of like, Tome's character is kind of just getting to the point where I'm kind of just, I don't know, I just don't like her. She's just having those moments of kind of just sitting here going, just, no, I don't like that, because I don't want him to kind of feel his emotions. I want him to kind of just kind of explore this on his own. He has to, because he's going through kind of that patch in his life. He has to kind of feel his emotions himself. He can't just be forcibly made to feel his emotions. It's kind of interesting in that right. He has to kind of just experience it himself. Being forcibly made won't make him have these emotions. It will just bring out every single emotion he has, because he'll just get pissed off and just turn into this powerful being, because him averting his powers has caused a complex. That's what the narrator's explaining. Him himself not being himself, not conforming to his own self, has actually kind of had this effect on him. In essence, not bringing out his powers has caused a complex, and little by little, emotions have come through slightly, like a little bit by little bit. Other emotions are kind of like peeked through, but as soon as all of them just kind of bring out in one fell swoop, it just causes this massive like thing in his brain that he turns into this all-powerful being. Like, he turns into a dragon form. But I thought it was interesting. I actually quite like this anime for what it's exploring, the whole idea of religion being this kind of skewered idea. And the whole idea of Reagan as well. Reagan kind of being that person who really does actually kind of influence Mob in a way. In essence, I've been a little bit like kind of harsh with Reagan. In essence, Reagan's been that kind of character that I just don't know how I feel towards him. He just has those moments I'm like, hey, he's pretty freaking good. Other times I'm like, mate, you're just taking for a ride. How am I meant to feel towards you? But in this episode, and in a couple of episodes before, he does express that he actually is a good influence on Mob. Kind of just saying to him, look, your individuality is good for you. Just don't worry about it. In essence, he's a good influence on him. So, in essence, I actually kind of really do like Reigen's character, because he does actually have those moments. In essence, he's kind of a con man. That's the main thing you get from him. He's a con man, but he's kind of in his own right interesting character, because he's a nice influence on Mob. He just kind of gives him advice. It's kind of like making him go through life normally, not being forcibly made to do these things, not being forcibly made to actually kind of feel his emotions. It's the whole idea that I got from this episode. So religion was trying to forcibly make him become someone he isn't. Someone who he has to actually kind of just experience it himself. He doesn't really know what he wants right now. He just has to go through life normally. He has to experience his emotions. He has to kind of just conform to himself, explore himself in his own right, and then basically just kind of go through life like that. So I kind of get from it. I thought, overall, when you think about it, when you read between the lines of this anime becomes really freaking like impressive, because it's kind of just exploring the whole idea of adolescence through Mob's character and how complex he actually really is. How he doesn't really know who he is right now. How he's exploring his adolescence like in its own right. He's exploring it quite freaking damn well. So if it carries on like this, if it goes down this route constantly, just kind of explores this slowly, and then slowly change his character to actually kind of explore it himself, as I said before, I'd be completely content, because this anime is expressing this whole entire idea. It's going through his adolescent life and exploring what he truly is and how these people influence him overall and how he has to experience it himself. And yeah, I mean, he did a freaking good job. Bones. I mean, that triggered form, that 100% form, holy freaking Christ, that whole entire animation scene was freaking fantastic. I mean, you rivaled Madhouse in this. Freaking hell, the animation's impressive as anime. I mean, Bones is Bones. You just go into a Bones anime knowing how good the animation is. But they're doing a bang out job as anime. I mean, it's freaking fantastic. Man, I was like, freaking hell. these frames, man. These frames. I mean, there's certain scenes I've watched twice just because of how good they look. Because it's true. Even when the spirits kind of come out and kind of just go back in, those scenes look bloody amazing. Like, they just really do. I mean, Bones, they know how to do it. I've always said that they're the kings at what they do. And they bring it out each season. And this is no different. Really, this isn't. They're bringing the A game. Both narratively, characterizationally, if that's even the word, and animationally, that's even the word as well. So yes, with all that said, being Driver, I am now finally caught of Mob Psycho 100, and what can I say overall in the first 3 episodes I actually watched? I like it. Actually really good. I like One Punch Man, so kind of going into this anime like, yeah, I probably will enjoy it, but I'm actually enjoying it more than I actually imagined. I thought this actually will be just kind of like One Punch Man, but actually, when I kind of read between the lines and read into it a little bit more, it's actually become more interesting, I must say. So yes, with all that said, I have actually been the Driver. If you have enjoyed my content as a whole, and you do want to leave a sub, do leave a sub. If you have enjoyed the video as a whole, and you do want to leave a like because you have enjoyed the video, I did it the wrong way around, do leave a like because it does help me quite a bit. But, with all that said, I have been the Driver, and I will see you guys later.